Robert Downey Jr. is maybe best known for playing Tony Stark, aka Iron Man. But don't forget that he played one other major movie role that is maybe more famous worldwide. Yes, Robert was busy saving the world in the past decade, but he is coming back to play the legendary detective Sherlock Holmes for the third time. The inimitable literary detective is coming back to hit the big screens. But before we tell you what we know, let's jump on the recap about two previous Sherlock Holmes movies. The remarkable Downey brought to life Sir Arthur Conan Doyle, or literary gnome detective Sherlock Holmes in 2009. When the first movie was released, the movie was a huge hit, and Downey's fantastic performance was rewarded with a Golden Globe. The first movie for the famous detective was directed by Guy Ritchie and managed to gross over $524 million worldwide against a budget of only $90 million. That was more than enough for a sequel to follow in 2011 when Sherlock Holmes: A Game of Shadows was released. The second movie was evaluated with the same praise and the same delights as the first one, which is a rare thing, given that the sequels are almost every time worse than the previous movie. The movie had almost the same grossing and almost the same rating on IMDb and Rotten Tomatoes. Both movies are still big hits, and we are rewatching them even now, a decade later. The year is 1891, and Detective Sherlock Holmes is investigating a terrorist attack in London. But he is alone in his mission after John Watson, his partner, got married to Mary. Holmes is on the trail of a criminal mastermind named Professor Moriarty, an evil guy who is carrying out a string of random crimes across Europe. The evil professor plans to start a war in the old continent by killing political leaders and politicians. For this purpose, Moriarty will buy arms and ammunition factories. He will also attack Dr. Watson and his wife Mary while they are traveling for their honeymoon by train to Brighton. Holmes will hit that like button just like you should if you haven't done so already. No, really, Holmes will deliver Mary to protection by his brother Mycroft. After this, both detectives, Holmes and Watson, will go after Moriarty and his dangerous associate, Colonel Sebastian Moran. Many vicissitudes will follow in this mission. The fate of Europe hangs in the balance. Believe us, it's worth every second of watching, and if you haven't seen it until now, it is the right time to do it. Now, when we finish the recap part, it's time to remember the lovely summer of 2019. It was the year when the world was living peacefully and without the COVID-19 pandemic. Hollywood sure does remember these days. This was the time when the Sherlock Holmes 3 movie was announced that should reunite Robert Downey Jr. and Jude for another third run of investigation. Also, the name of the director was revealed, and it was the Rocket Man fame Dexter Fletcher who is taking the chair. Yes, the movie is confirmed, and yes, we have many details known by now. But like many other movie titles, Sherlock Holmes 3 has seen many problems until now. Now, let's see the potential release date. The rumors for the third movie began almost immediately after the second, but for years, nothing concrete came out of this. Now we know the name of the director, and we also know that Narcos co-creator Chris Brancato has written the script. The filming almost took place at the end of 2016. But Downey was too busy at the time with his commitments to Marvel Studios. Warner Bros. Was planning to set the premiere around Christmas Day in 2020. Both previous movies were also released around Christmas. But in March 2019, there was another delay, and we didn't get the information why. Then the movie release date was set for December 2021 and is now for December 2022. But it remains to be seen whether the movie will come out on this date. While there is no official news that the film is back in pre-production, Robert Downey Jr. and his wife Susan started working on the development of 2 Sherlock Holmes-related shows. The information was announced a month ago by The Hollywood Reporter, and according to this, the couple would like to develop the film series into a full-on Sherlock Holmes franchise. The shows will take place on HBO, but we don't know if this work will speed up things with a third movie, or if there will be another postponement. Even though nothing is official by now, we have 4 cast members that will come to reprise their roles in the third movie, if we can believe the cast and crew section for the movie on IMDb. Alongside Downey Jr. as Detective Holmes and Jude Law as Dr. John Watson. Surprisingly, Jared Harris will reprise his role as the evil Professor James Moriarty, which means he is not dead after all. Another one who is confirmed for coming back is Inspector Lestrade. played by Eddie Marsan, and there are no words until now about Watson's wife Mary, who was played by Yellowstone's Kelly Riley, and also about Holmes' brother Mycroft, who, if he was on your place, would have hit that ring bell button below the video. No, really, there is no information that Stephen Fry will come back to play the character of Sherlock's brother Mycroft. Now, let's see how the story will go in the upcoming third movie for Detective Sherlock Holmes. The director Dexter Fletcher will smash that subscribe button and hit the notification bell. No, really, in all seriousness now. Fletcher is in his recent interview with Collider, said that the third movie derailed mostly due to the pandemic. I do think it will get made. I think it has to be made. I don't know what the timeline of that is, unfortunately, but I believe it should be. I think it's about all the right people being at the right place at the right time. I think it's that. It's one of those cruel twists of fate where the pandemic hit and that scattered people around the world to the wind. But if I know that the appetite is huge for it, and I'm sure there are other people acutely aware of that as well, but I believe it should be because it's brilliant. I very much hope so, said Fletcher. In October 2020, during a panel at the Fast Company Innovation Festival, Team Robert and Susan Downey revealed their plan to build out the film's universe. At this point, we feel that there is not a mystery verse built out anywhere, and Conan Doyle is the definitive voice in that arena, I think, to this day. So, to me, why do a third movie if you're not going to be able to spin off into some real gems of diversity and other times and elements, they said. The potential shows will be executive produced by Robert, Susan, and Amanda Burrell from Team Downey and will go on HBO Max. Variety, from their sources, learned that the shows are in early development and they will be set in the world of 2009's Sherlock Holmes and 2011's Sherlock Holmes: A Game of Shadows. Jude Law also previously teased that the movie would, as he said, play up to the fact that they haven't seen each other for a long time either. And for the rumor that Johnny Depp will take part in the third movie, information that was published by National Enquirer in August 2020, we will disappoint you, but it is unlikely that the actor will play a role in Sherlock Holmes 3. We already mentioned that the script for Sherlock Holmes 3 was written by the co-creator of Netflix's Narcos, an epic crime series, Godfather of Harlem, Chris Brancato. But that's all we know for now, and all the other details, including the main villains or cases, are unknown, and maybe even Sherlock himself could not resolve them right now. However, if it is true that the incredible Jared Harris is coming back to reprise his role as Professor James Moriarty, probably he'll try to succeed in his mission to create world instability once more. The third movie may also bring another villain that could make company to the evil professor in his mission. Thanks for watching, and see you in the next video.